Hey, and welcome to a very special episode on the channel. An opportunity I never thought I'd have, but today we have a very special guest here with me. The voice behind Chernov, the legend behind all our favorite lines of dialogue and storyline beats, Craig Houston. How's it going, Craig? Alright, so, Craig, first off, thanks for coming on to the channel. It really means a lot. This is a huge, huge honor. You've been an inspiration of mine for years, but let's say we just get into the questions, shall we? Great. Okay, so, starting off with a doozy. How old is Russ Man? He's mentioned feeling young again when drinking some perks, specifically 80, and he had no white hairs in the 1970s and looked to at least be in his 40s by then. Did 115 prolong his life, or is Russ Man naturally immortal? Mm-hmm. Mm. Yep. Uh, uh, are are you being for real? You're not joking with me? That's actually insane. I can't believe that. But well, we gotta move along. I'm gonna be thinking about that one for a while. Next question. The writing in the dressing room on Kino, Samantha, Amelia, Abigail. I'd assume you remember that. Okay, good. What's the deal with it? Are the two names friends of Samantha's? Is it her middle name or her mother's name? What's the deal with it? Mind telling us after all this time? I see. I guess that really isn't surprising. As you already know, Ancient Evil takes place in 1912, and in that map we see Alistair Rhodes turned to stone by the Oracle, or in reality, Medusa. However, in Citadel des Morts, Professor Kraft states to have met Rhodes at the Ghent World Fair, which took place in 1913. How is it that Alistair's alive, and does this mean not all of Chaos is completely canon? Uh, no, we're not live. And yeah, yeah, I can cut that part out. uh, there's an inconsistency in Zikov's diary entries in Cold War. He has two entries stating to have come across a machine capable of upgrading his weaponry, one of which has him nearly consumed by the Forsaken, which, as we know, Zikov is the Forsaken. So was Zikov lying through his teeth, and if so, when does his diary entries become unreliable? Uh, no. I guess I didn't consider that possibility. Are, are you saying that's what actually is happening? Fair enough. Staying on the topic of Elder Gods, let's talk about the first one. Is the first one the combined form of Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man? No? Craig, that's the only thing that makes sense. Why would Monty spend that time telling us about a worm being cut in half and still surviving? Right, sorry. I didn't mean to lash out like that. Dialing it down, I have one question left from me, and then we'll move on to some community questions. Is that okay with you, Craig? Okay, sweet. I apologize for taking up so much of your time. Alright, my last question is the reason Chaos has made its return, along with Aether's slow crawl back into the spotlight, a really big setup to explain how the two stories are represented in Black Ops 4 Blackout mode? Right. That's actually pretty smart. Really playing the long game on that one, eh, Craig? Sorry. Alright, let's move on to the community questions, shall we? Starting with Foser Poser. They're curious as to the identity and fate of Scarlet's mother. You guys really had that planned out during BO4? Whatever. Next question is from Neil, and they ask, is it 2013? Sorry, Neil asks, can Dempsey do the Harlem Shake? Well, you heard him, Neil. Alright, moving on. Tony Rapt asks, why did the Chronorium lie about Purgatory Point? Well, Craig, did the Chronorium lie to us? Right, yeah. Actually, a pretty good answer. Margwa International asks, is Carver having dementia in BO6 a reference to Treyarch forgetting about him? Yeah, that's about what I expected. Craig, there's a lot of good questions being thrown my way, and I know we only have time for maybe one more. So I'll ask the one we got asked by 3 people. Why did Richthofen need the Gersh device? I gotta look that up on Google. Well, alright guys. I guess that's it from us. Huh? What's that, Craig? You've got a question for me? You think you're funny, don't you, Craig? Hiring people to torment me over this godforsaken amulet? You know, this whole thing wouldn't have had to happen if you guys just fixed it beforehand. All of this could have been avoided. This joke is old now, Craig. Time to move on, buddy. Besides, as if the amulet wasn't enough, now we lose cutscenes and our... Craig? Craig? Mr. Houston? Man. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Wait. No, I forgot to record his audio?